Now, here's Brian Wolf.
Good evening from Santora's Pizza Pub and Grill. We are here for UB Basketball Insider. I'm joined by the second-year head coach of the UB men's basketball team, Nate Oates. Coach, just over 24 hours to tip off here the regular season. Talk to us about your excitement level as we get ready here to face Niagara at 8 p.m. tomorrow night up at the Gallagher Center.
Yeah, it's here. It's about time. 30 practices under our belt. We're finally to the first game. Got the scrimmage exhibition out of the way. We're excited. We're finally time to play somebody else other than ourselves.
Well, you talk about the exhibition game, and we haven't talked since that game in 87-82 overtime win against Damon. I know you weren't super pleased, but what were your thoughts now kind of looking back on it maybe after a week?
They're a very well-coached team that shot the ball pretty well that night. You know, it's kind of like when we played Miami and we played Perk at the 5 and he stepped out and shot a lot of threes. They had a center that stepped out and made a lot of threes. It kind of took our size away. We didn't take advantage of the size mismatch at the other end. So, about 10 minutes left in the game, I just quit playing our bigs, really. We just went small, but, it definitely hurt not having Blake. And then I think it's good to have an exhibition rather than two scrimmages just because some of those new guys, it's the first time in front of everybody. They didn't play that well, played a little bit different. They're playing a lot better in practice than they had in that game. So hopefully we got the first game jitters out of the way. And really, you know what? Damon did a really good job. They had nothing to lose. They could play a little more loose and fire away. That would have looked a lot worse if we'd have lost that game. So I'm glad they played it as tough as they did. And I'm glad, we play them for a reason. They've got really good players, and Coach McDonald does an unbelievable job coaching them, and they're ready to play. And, it definitely helps get us ready for our first game. So I think we're more ready now than we were before that game. They exposed us on some stuff, and we've gotten better at it in practice this week.
You talk about a guy like Nick Perkins. He had 25 points in that game. 8 of those came in overtime. 7 of those came in a row, including him getting fouled on a three-point play and a dunk, which kind of put that game away. Went 10 for 12 from the free throw line. Talk to us about Nick's play, and especially I think in the second half and overtime of that game.
You know what? He's a big body that can score inside. That he can shoot threes. He likes to filter out to the perimeter a lot. But we need him to go inside and abuse some people inside as well. So kind of get both inside and outside going. I thought, when we knew we needed to get some buckets, he was able to go inside and get some for us, and he can finish. The and one dunk was nice, a little bit reminiscent of Canisius at home last year when he got that and one dunk late to help seal that win. But he's gonna be a huge part of what we do this year, so we need him playing at a high level.
Tomorrow night you open up against Niagara. That game can be heard right here on ESPN 1520 with Josh Wetzel on the call. Pregame show starts at 7:30, tip off at 8 o'clock. What do you know about the Purple Eagles? I'm sure you guys have dug into the scout a little bit. Talk to us about Niagara.
Got a lot of new players. That they've got some decent talent back, but they had some talent sitting out last year. They've got the kid that transferred from USC, Khalil Dukes. He's going to be good. Matt Scott kid is coming back that averaged a decent amount of points for them. They like to open the floor up. A lot of dribble drive stuff. We're going to have to sit down and guard, stay in the gap. They want to play fast, and we want to play fast, which should be an up and down game. We're going to have to do a really good job defensively, staying in front of them and not fouling, keeping them off the free throw line. They like to drive, get fouled, get to the free throw line. They like to score in transition. Our transition D, our on-ball defense, and then our help side getting over when we do get beat is going to be huge to the game. And I think on the offensive side of it, we've been talking about assist turnover ratio a lot. We've got to get our assist numbers up and our turnovers down. The ball's got to move a little bit better. So, if we can see a higher assist to turnover ratio and, us just making them shoot contested jumpers, not getting in the lane, I think we'll be good.
Is it a little weird, especially for, you're playing a Niagara, a team that's 20 minutes north of here. You're the only one on the staff who's ever been in the Gallagher Center. And Raheem and Christian Pino are the only two that have ever played against Niagara, which is such a new team, and you guys not playing them last year. Is that weird to have such a level of unfamiliarity with maybe a team that you call a Western New York or crosstown rival?
Yeah, I think it is. It kind of speaks to the turnover we've had on the roster, since my first year here. But, it's kind of the nature of what's happened. We had a coaching change, and we've brought some new guys in. And then the other thing is we didn't play them last year. Like, we were in the same tournament, and there was a good chance we were going to play them, so that's why we kind of put the game off for a year, so we didn't have to play each other twice during the year, and then it ends up working out that we don't end up playing them. So, we didn't play them last year. Had we played them last year, we won't be talking about this. So and we were supposed to play them at their place last year, so we kind of just put the series off for 1 year. But no, the last time we played up there, we lost. That was my first year here. Coach Hurley's first year, and they did a good job, and Antoine Mason killed us. And we started that season 0-2, and that was the second game. So we now this is our first game. This is a big game for us early in the year, especially with going down to Xavier right afterwards.
I do want to ask you about Xavier real quick because we won't talk again until after that game. But you go down Xavier on Monday night. That is 7 o'clock tip-off, also here on ESPN 1520, can also be seen nationally on CBS Sports Network. A top 5 team in the country. Talks about that trip and the challenges that they provide.
Shoot, they're really good. Like you said, top 5 in the country. They've got some guards. Kid Blewett, kid Edmund Sumner, I actually coached against when I was back at Romulus. He was at Country Day. Him and Maury Diani were teammates. He's grown a couple inches since high school. They've got some highly skilled guys. Their coaching staff does a really good job, and they're always in the top 25. This year they're all the way up in the top 5. So it's good. And playing in the Cintas Center, their crowd support's great. It's going to be another great environment for our guys to play a big time game in.
Well, tomorrow the season opener against Niagara, 8 o'clock, 7:30 pregame show here on ESPN 1520. We're going to take a break. When we get back, assistant coach Brian Hodgson is going to join us. We're going to talk about the signing class that you signed yesterday, but right now we're going to take a quick break. You're listening to UB Basketball Insider live from Santora's Pizza Pub and Grill. We'll be right back.
This month at Town BMW, lease a 2016 BMW 320i X-Drive sedan for $265 per month. Only $265 per month. Call 505-2100, 505-2100, or stop by 8215 Main Street in Williamsville today.
Town BMW is proud to be the official auto partner of UB Athletics and offers special pricing to UB students and employees.
Pricing, performance.
We got this, Coach. Join our hometown team and let's have a winning season.
We love our town.
Hello, it's that Kegworks guy from the Kegworks store, the place where holiday shopping doesn't suck. Let's face facts, Jack. Slogging through the mall can sometimes be a pain in the keister. Who wants that? That's why you need to get to the Kegworks store. We feature over 3,800 square feet jam-packed with the kinds of unique gifts and tools for drinking that will make your loved ones say, Santa who? If your shopping list is chock full of people who enjoy a fine adult beverage or two, we're certain that we've got something that will light each of them up like a Christmas tree. For the beer lovers in your life, shop our wide selection of specialty glassware, kegerators, home brew supplies and ingredients, local brewery t-shirts, growlers, and much more. For those who crave craft cocktails, we've got top quality bar tools, premium cocktail mixers, bitters, syrups, awesome Bloody Mary supplies and garnishes, elegant glass sets, and other finishing touches. Why settle for the same old this year? Come to the Kegworks store at 1460 Military Road in Kenmore. We've got the gifts they actually want.
From U Sports to the NFL, A-Turf synthetic grass fields are helping athletes have fun and perform at their peak. More than 30 Western New York schools and over 400 schools nationwide call A-Turf their home field. It's what the UB Bulls play on and the Buffalo Bills too. A-Turf Titan has the highest safety rating and the longest warranty. A-Turf, optimal performance for athletes, superior value for owners. Learn more at aturf.com.
Welcome back to the worldwide leader in sports, ESPN 1520. Live from Santora's Pizza Pub and Grill, this is the Bulls Digital Network UB Basketball Insider. Now, here's Brian Wolf.
Back here at Santora's Pizza Pub and Grill, you are listening to UB Basketball Insider. Still joined by Nate Oates, the second-year head coach of the Bulls. And now we're also joined by assistant coach Brian Hodgson. It was a big day yesterday for UB for the future of the program with National Signing Day, and we're going to talk about 3 of the guys that were signed. But before we talk about those 3 guys, I want to, Nate, talk to us about the job that Brian does, going out and being the recruiting coordinator. It was a job that you had under Coach Hurley, and just really how difficult that job is.
I mean, Brian's done an unbelievable job since he's got here. You know, that first year we were kind of under the gun, got the job in April and had to replace some guys that played heavy minutes. You know, he's able to bring in Blake Hamilton, who's all conference player. We got him late in the spring, which to get a player of his caliber that late was big. And, you know, Willie, the MAC tournament MVP, we got him late in the spring too. And then Kadiri, you know, and then this past year, when Lamonte left us in July, it was almost impossible to find a point guard that late. He got a top 30 point guard in the country. Devontae Jordan was rated like the 30th rated point guard in the country. So he's been able to pull up, you know, some guys off that just with his contacts that he's got all over the country late. And I thought, you know, this fall we did a really good job. You know, we were trying to replace Blake, and, you know, he went out, to my opinion, he got the best JUCO wing in the country. I mean, I didn't see anybody better than Jeremy Harris. And I didn't think we had a shot at getting the kid. Brian just kept telling me to hang in there, hang in there, hang in there. Coach, trust me on this one. I'm like, all right, I'll trust you. I'll keep making the calls. So, you know, me and Brian both went and visited his mother, and nobody else did that. You know, I trusted Brian on this one. He delivered before. He came through huge. And then, you know, the 2 high school kids he got, I'm super excited about too. You know, Javon Graves down at St. Vincent St. Mary's, and kid James Reese in South Carolina. So he's got his finger on the pulse of recruiting at a pretty high level, and it's got contacts all over the place, and does a really good job. We kind of, you know, we do a little bit different. I try not to recruit, you know, 30 guys. We try to concentrate on a handful of guys, and Brian's got a pretty good eye for what I like. And, you know, when he sends me out to look at kids, we usually agree on them, and he's done a really good job getting the guys that we've targeted.
Brian, what's that process like, going out and doing recruiting? Obviously, you've racked up some freaking flyer miles, you know, here over the last couple months. But talk to us about going out on the road and make, you know, with those contacts and really finding these guys.
You know, the biggest thing for us is you know, the way we play. Obviously, the tempo that we play. You know, being one of the top, and talked about what we're looking for. And like you said, we're not targeting 100 guys like some places are, but we kind of, you know, narrow down to what we want and find a certain specific group of guys and kind of just go from there. And we, as Nate, as a head coach, recruits like an assistant still.
Well, let's talk about some of the guys that were signed yesterday, and we'll start with Javon Graves, 6'3" point guard out of Akron, played at St. Vincent St. Mary High School, same high school as LeBron James. What is it about Javon that really impresses you guys?
Well, he's really athletic, for one, and we want athletes because, like Brian said, you know, we want to get up and down. Our tempo's fast. We play wide open. But he's not just an athlete. He's skilled. He can really score it. You know, I like to get guys that can score the ball, and he can play multiple positions. You know, we're going to play him at some point, at some 2. He shoots it well, and I think he passes it really well for how good a scorer he is. I mean, what was he ranked in Ohio?
He's the number 1 ranked player at his position, and I think 6th or 7th overall.
Yeah, OHH Hoops has him as the 7th best player in the state.
Yeah, and another thing that we look at, if you look at the program that he comes from and the other guys that we've signed, you talk about Javon's coming from St. Vincent St. Mary's. He's played in, you know, 2 state championships in the 3 years he's been there. James Reese, you know, HC Flora High School is one of the top programs in South Carolina. You know, Devontae last year is coming from Montverde. So we look at kids in those programs that have been coached. They know how to win. And you know, that was something that was attractive about Javon. But obviously, like Coach said, he kind of brings a lot of different things to the table. He can play some point. He can score. He's got a body that's ready for college basketball. He's athletic, and he fits exactly what we were looking for at that spot.
And another versatile guy, Jeremy Harris, 6'7" wing player, and I know we talked about that's the guy that you've kind of tabbed to replace Blake next year. And this is a guy that, as you said, is you think is the best junior college player in the country at his position. I know JUCORecruiting.com has him as only 1 or 2 players listed his position as a high major talent. I mean, talk to us about Jeremy Harris.
When he visited a high major in the fall, and they wanted him. They weren't happy when we got him. Brian had a connection down there. And was, he's got real good friends with the guy that was connected with Jeremy, and that was kind of our end to start with. But then, when you're a junior college player, you've only got 2 years left to play. You want to go somewhere where you can play a lot of minutes and be featured early. Like it made sense with Blake, and Blake's worked out really well. I think that's a selling point with a kid like Jeremy. We've already done it once, with a kid at your position that plays similar to you, and Brian did an unbelievable job selling him. I mean, Brian just kept working it, grinding. And you know what? Panama City Beach, Florida, sounds like a great place to go, and I'm sure it is, but it's not easy to get to, because I looked at those flights. Brian did a lot of driving in the recruiting, so in this last month and a half, Brian's been on the road quite a bit. I mean, he's, like you said, he's earned his miles. He's gotten quite a few rental cars and driven all over, and he grounded out and got it done. That was huge for us, though.
I know Jeremy was a guy that you were super excited when he committed. What was it about him, and just talk us through a little bit through his recruiting process?
Well, Jeremy plays in one of the top junior college leagues in the country. Oftentimes over the last couple of years, the national champions came out of that league, and he was very successful in that league last year, averaging almost 14 points a game as a freshman, which is tough to do in that league. So that stood out to me. And then myself and Coach Oates, you can play him at 3 to 4 different positions the way we play. And so, we knew it was going to be tough. He had Big 12 schools recruiting him, ACC schools, SEC schools, and at the end of the day, I think Nate and myself, really targeted him as one of our top guys, and we outworked people on it. Nate went down and saw his mother. I saw his mother, and obviously going to back-to-back NCAA tournaments helps you put your position to get kids of this.
For shooting guard out of Columbia, South Carolina, as you mentioned, an AC Florida kid. They were ranked the number one high school team by Max Preps last year. Won a state championship. James named by some services as the 8th best player in the state of South Carolina. And Nate, you've talked about him, just a kid that can shoot the ball.
Yeah, he shoots at a really high level, and he's freaky athletic. Like when I went in and watched him, he did some stuff athletically that nobody on our team right now can do. And when you shoot it that well and you're that athletic, and he can also handle it. It's not like that's all he can do. Like I think he's a kid that's got a chance to be really special here. Don't you need some guys that can knock down the
to get into and get a player out of there?
Yeah, no doubt. And you know what? It's funny. Sometimes you through relationships and just people in the business, you can sometimes bump into a kid. We were in South Carolina looking at another kid actually, and I talked to a buddy of mine on the phone, and he said, "Hey, before you leave here, you need to go over to AC Florida and check out James Reese." And I went over there and watched him work out, and immediately called Nate, because like I said in the beginning, we're really targeting a certain type of guy with athleticism, speed, and quickness and toughness, and he had all those things, and had a great workout the day I was in there. I sent Nate down the following week, and we got him right up here, and we're able to get him committed on the visit.
Well, definitely an exciting class, but also exciting was the class that was brought in this year, and you can see them in action tomorrow night in the season opener at Niagara, an 8 o'clock start up at the Gallagher Center, 7:30 pregame here on ESPN 1520. Coach Oates, thanks for your time. Coach Hodgson, we're going to keep you for another segment, but right now we're going to take a quick break. You are listening to UB Basketball Insider live from Santora's Pizza Pub and Grill. We'll be right back.
Join us at Santora's Pizza Pub and Grill. Hey, it's Paul Santora letting you know we have 2 great locations. One on Millersport Highway next to the Marriott, one on Transit Road next to Transit Lanes. We've got 60 taps, 66 TVs. All of our food is made to order with the freshest and most natural ingredients. Both locations have live music, Millersport on Friday, Transit Friday and Saturday night. There's no better place to enjoy football and hockey, with great drink and food specials for every game. Santora's Pizza Pub and Grill since 1927. 4 generations strong, the only family to say we are the original. Santora's Pizza Pub and Grill. Great food, great people, great beer.
Buffalo sports fans, the UB men's basketball team returns to Alumni Arena Thursday, November 17th when they host Nazareth. It's UB Campus Living Toys for Tots Night, and fans are encouraged to bring a new unwrapped toy to the game. For every toy turned in, receive a voucher for a $10 ticket to a future game. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. For tickets and more info, visit UBBulls.com or call 1-877-UB-THERE.
This month at Town BMW, lease a 2016 BMW 320i xDrive sedan for $265 per month. Only $265 per month. Call 505-2100, 505-2100, or stop by 8215 Main Street in Williamsville today.
Town BMW is proud to be the official auto partner of UB Athletics and offers special pricing to UB students and employees.
Pricing, performance.
We got this, Coach. Join our hometown team and let's have a winning season.
We love our town.
As the University of Buffalo's technology solutions provider, ComDoc worked together with UB to develop a comprehensive program by consolidating print resources and implementing initiatives that reduce waste. Choose the winning team and visit comdoc.com or call 716-689-0202 to see how Buffalo's premier technology solutions provider can help you optimize your workflow.
Welcome back to the worldwide leader in sports, ESPN 1520. Live from Santora's Pizza Pub and Grill, this is the Bulls Digital Network UB Basketball Insider. Now, here's Brian Wolf.
Back here at Santora's Pizza Pub and Grill, still joined here by assistant coach Brian Hodgson. And Coach, your second year with the program, a local guy. What did it mean to you for Coach Oates to offer you this opportunity to come back to Western New York, and then for you to be here for your second year?
It was huge. I mean, obviously, I was down in Texas. I was out in the desert, and just kind of chasing the dream of coaching at this level. And it's really tough to crack into the Division I level. And to be able to do it at home here in Western New York was huge for me. I developed a relationship with Coach Oates. When he was an assistant here as a recruiter, just him calling about our guys, and we had a lot of things in common. So when he got hired, we spoke about it, and obviously it was a no-brainer for me to get back home and be able to coach at this level.
Being at Midland, you kind of have a unique relationship with a lot of the guys. Let's start with Dante Carruthers, the sophomore guard out of Rochester. Played it or was at Indian Hills last year. Unfortunately, he was injured, but 2 years ago he was with you at Midland. So you know Dante a lot better. What kind of kid is he, and and what's it like to have him back and coaching him again?
Well, Dante's a phenomenal kid, and when I was at Midland in my second year there, obviously I recruited Dante to Midland, and he's a guy that I had kind of kept tabs on through his high school career. He was one of the best players in all of New York State, actually. One of the leading scorers in the state of New York, and took his team to a state championship. Was great for us at Midland, and what might be the best junior college league in the country. He started for us as a freshman, averaged 10 points a game, and really developed. And so when we had some scholarships open up here, to me it was a no-brainer. The type of kid he is. He's really as tough as they come, and I think that's what he's going to bring to the team this year is some toughness. He's still got a lot to learn and a lot to develop, but he always brings effort every day and toughness that we definitely need.
Two of the other guys on the team that you know pretty well are Willie Connor and David Gadiri, guys that you coached against when you were at Midland. They played at Odessa and at South Plains in that league as well. But obviously you built up enough of a relationship with them and saw the things that they were able to do that you brought them up here to Buffalo last year.
Yeah, so that, like I said, that league is unbelievable. You talk about South Plains has won multiple national championships. Odessa is a storied program. Guys like Larry Johnson played there. So when I was hired by Nate, and we talked about the scholarship situation here and our needs. It was pretty simple and quick for me because I knew two guys right away that could fill those spots. Willie was one of the best players in that league. He was a first-team all-region guy, which is tough to do there. And DK played on a team that won that region and went on to the national tournament and played in a national championship game. They both fit what we were looking for here at UB, and both have been great for us so far.
Is there ever a lot of trash talking between those three of kind of the games they played against each other in the junior college ranks?
They try to. There's not much they can do though, because at the end of the day, Kadiri played in the national championship game.
So what's that like? And you talk about it's all about building relationships, and when you go into a kid's home and you talk to parents and you try and build a relationship with their family. But just, what's that like for you to go into different homes and travel the country and find guys that will fit in well here?
I love it. Obviously, as with any job, the better the situation you're in, the easier it is, and that's the biggest part about me being home in Western New York and recruiting to a place like UB and for Nate Oates. To me, it's easy. I really enjoy it. We've got a great situation here. Obviously, going to back-to-back tournaments, the way we play and the style of play is something that's attractive to kids now. Nate plays a modern style of basketball, so he really makes things easy. But and like I said earlier, as a head coach, he still recruits like an assistant. So some schools kind of target certain areas that they're going to recruit, or certain avenues that we're wide open. We're going to try to find the best possible players we can fit to fill those positions.
Yeah, and when you look at the staff dynamic with yourself and Coach Weitzel and Coach Hunter and Coach Bowman in there, just it's got to just be a great environment for you to work in and to be around every day.
Yeah, it is. Our staff, I think, is probably one of the best in the country. Coach Weitzel's been doing this for longer than I've been alive. He'll probably be mad at me for saying that, but Coach Hunter played 17 years in the NBA and NBA head coach, NBA, recruiting. I know I'm here talking about it, but all those guys help in some capacity. It definitely makes things a lot easier when you got an NBA guy on staff. We don't want to recruit kids that don't want to play at the highest level. So when you can bring them on campus and talk to a guy like Lindsey Hunter, that definitely helps.
And finally, I know some years it doesn't always fall this way, but this year, National Signing Day was 2 days before the season got started. Now that you got your class signed, how excited are you to focus on this upcoming season starting tomorrow night at Niagara?
I am excited, and that's recruiting. Is not done when the guys get here on campus. So all those guys that we've got here, we've still got a job to do with them. Obviously we were fortunate to sign 3 guys in the early period. So what that meant was I was gone for a lot of September and October. So now I get to be here and spend a little more time with those guys and watch them develop and continue to be around those guys that we signed and build relationships with them. And that's what we talk about. That's one of the biggest benefits of signing in that early signing period is you can really build a strong relationship with the coaching staff.
Well, Coach, thank you for your time. We appreciate it here. That's second-year assistant coach Brian Hodgson. That's going to do it for us with UB Basketball Insider. But stay tuned because coming up next is UB Football Insider with Lance Leipold and John Fuller. You are listening to UB Basketball Insider right from here from Santora's Pizza Pub and Grill.